Here's Brody Brazil.
Okay, let's discuss the big news of the day. Timo Meier traded from San Jose to New Jersey. I don't think it surprised anybody. Rumors had been floating out there. It seemed quite likely. We knew New Jersey was very interested. What we didn't know were the amount of individuals and draft picks that would ultimately be part of this transaction. It's complicated. It's interesting all at the same time. But obviously, Timo being the most established player of this deal, we'll begin with him and we'll focus on that. And in that sense, it's better that he went to New Jersey and the Devils rather than Las Vegas and the Golden Knights. Very well reported and understood that Las Vegas was one of the finalists in terms of suitors for Timo Meier. Just good for Timo to have a new team, a competitive team, but for the Sharks, a team that's out of the division and in the other conference, right? Get Timo Meier out on the East Coast, because if he does sign a long-term contract extension, better with the Devils than with the Golden Knights. Timo's trajectory over the last several years has been impressive. I mean, quite honestly, always in his career after the first few seasons, very consistent. But it's interesting, just about the time that Evander Kane left and vacated a scoring opportunity in San Jose, Timo Meier kind of took that role and ran with it. Former head coach Bob Boughner at one point kind of challenged him to be and get better. Timo did just that, and obviously it led to this season, the career effort he's having. Not just the point and goal production, but how about consistently being among the NHL's shot leaders this season? He gets the puck a lot, he gets it a lot in the offensive zone, he creates opportunities and chances. No question that Timo Meier really came into his own within the last few seasons, having this career season. And we take it all the way back to the 2015 draft. It was loaded. He was the 9th overall pick. Most certainly, he has panned out. As for the Sharks and their situation, Timo was an RFA. They would have had to offer him $10 million at the minimum next year for a qualifying offer. So I do understand the viewpoint of this. Why would you trade somebody who is still under technically team control for next year? But that would have put the Sharks in a similar salary cap situation as they're in this season. Very tight at the upper limit. Not a lot of flexibility, not a lot of opportunity, which we will discuss later on. That's what this deal is all about for them. Getting something in return, opening up a financial window for next year, an opportunity to do something with it. What will they do? That remains to be seen. There's also some deeper level details about this deal that we need to discuss here. The Sharks are, in fact, retaining 50% of Meier's salary for the rest of this season. So 20 some odd games. It doesn't work out to a lot, but obviously that helps fit Meier under the Devils' salary cap situation the rest of this year. There's also reportedly no extension for Timo, no contract extension as part of this movement. It was thought maybe at one point a team would want to secure a long-term deal with him and then have the trade happen so they knew exactly what they were getting. Maybe the Sharks would get something more in return. Reportedly, that is not taking place here. What is taking place is that the Devils are also getting defenseman Scott Harrington, Santeri Hatakka, and 2 ECHL players from the San Jose system, as well as a Colorado 5th-round draft pick in the 2024 calendar year. So all of that, in addition to Timo Meier, it's important to state the full details of what the Sharks are really giving up to get back this return package. And speaking of that, here's what the Sharks are getting back: 2 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 2 draft picks. Essentially, 3 of those 4 players are younger, in their early 20s, including, and this is my first time with pronunciation on these, give me a chance here, Shakir Makhamadullin. He's a defenseman right now in the KHL, 21 years old. He was the 20th overall draft pick in 2020. Shakir Makhamadullin. Fabian Zetterland, the 23-year-old, is a forward who has played 45 games with the Devils this season, 6 goals, 20 points. And then Nikita, Okhotiuk, defenseman who's got 10 games this year with the Devils under his belt. He was the 61st overall pick back in 2019. I'm here to say it's impossible right now for me to pretend I know the exact background of these players or what exactly they instantly bring to the table in San Jose, nor does anybody know. That's what scouting is all about, projection. How will they pan out? They're all in their early 20s. The next couple years will really play out the details of how this trade ultimately works out for San Jose. Also, the Sharks are going to get a 2023 first-round pick. If the pick is a top 2 selection, New Jersey will instead transfer their own 2024 first-round pick. There's also a conditional 2024 first-round selection going to San Jose. That is complicated, but the bottom line is that if the Devils get to the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals or the 2024 Eastern Conference Finals, the Sharks get a variety of different situations based on how far New Jersey gets each of the next 2 years and if Timo Meier plays 50% of the club's playoff games. So rather complicated, but the Sharks will get some future high draft picks as part of this deal. Okay, let's kind of move on here to the tail end of some closing thoughts. This for San Jose is one of their bigger moves in recent times. I mean, you think about trading away Brent Burns at the beginning of going into this year, this past offseason. Also trading for Erik Karlsson a handful of years ago. There's no question to me that this is among the wow moves that the Sharks have made in recent times, and one that has to be made by Mike Grier. You know, I didn't really mention this off the top of the video. I don't know that, the Sharks really wanted to push this deal through. They offered him. They saw something in return that they wanted to bite on. Look, optimally, you have homegrown talent like Timo Meier, you get to keep him. But his salary, the structure, the way things work, the qualifying offer, again, would have had to have been $10 million for next year. And if you're the Sharks, you either keep spinning your wheels in what you've been doing, or you open up the door of opportunity for years down the road. Now, this is a complicated deal. You've seen how many players are involved going both ways: NHLers, AHLers, ECHLers, KHLers, draft picks going both ways. A lot went into this, and it kind of does make you consider in reverse how long the Sharks in New Jersey were back and forth and maybe offering this with an alteration here or a change there. So it was very well thought out by both the Sharks and New Jersey Devils. But I think the biggest thing for Mike Grier, San Jose GM, is this. Half the equation is what just happened here. The Sharks got some talent back. They got some value out of Timo Meier. It was a situation that was not going to work for them, obviously financially next season. But they also opened up this cap opportunity for next year. $10 million, basically, that Timo is making this year is already off the books for next season. So you've got some more young talent, but what do you do with that $10 million? How do you spend it wisely? How do you better build your team down the road? Now, I'm not even sure how many more moves are in store for San Jose. But certainly this one was discussed. It was expected. Now it's happened. And I just see opportunity again for the Sharks. Some people would say you might in the future go looking for another Timo Meier that you already had right now. And that is true. You might. But the problem is the timing of Timo's trajectory and Timo's rise and what they'd owe Timo didn't really sync up with what the Sharks need to do over the next 1 to 2 to 4 seasons in San Jose. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. And by the way, I should have said this also at the very beginning. I'm saying it here at the end, and I hope if Timo ever sees this, he understands it. He was a great guy, great person to work with, solid hockey player, solid teammate from everything I saw and understood. And I obviously, individually, wish Timo Meier the very best.